What's going on today, guys? It's Daniel with Cuervo ATV. Today I am doing a little bit of something on the Ram 3500. It's the 22 of mine. Doing this video because I couldn't find any information, and the people I talked to, the people who are supposedly in the know, have no idea what's going on with these. Some were helpful with how they could be, and some were very disappointing in their lack of effort to address or learn or do anything with this problem. So factory rear air assist trucks on these Ram 3500s, they have a leaf spring as well as a factory airbag. This one has a 2-inch block and a 2-inch block on the airbag. Everything moves up in accordance. The bracketry for the sensor doesn't change. So trying to get to it quick as far as fixing the bucking and just the real poor rear ride quality. This one has a AEV lift. They're dual sport. It's got 37s on it. So awesome lift, came out great. These tires are the Fuel Gripper ATs. They are rated at 4,100 pounds. So this plays into a lot of what's going on. The stock tire is 3,600 pound rated at 80 PSI. That is full capacity rated for the truck. Obviously, if you're not hauling full capacity, just driving around, should lower it down quite a bit. Probably in the 60 range on the rear, because the front is running at 65. Now the front of these trucks are 2,000 pounds heavier than the rear of the truck unloaded. So the rear tires, if you're running unloaded, if you're at the same PSI as the front tires, well, those front tires are carrying 2,000 more pounds. So you can drop the rears. If you look at it that way, scale the truck, you can kind of get some real information there. So number one thing is tire pressure. Now, being that these are 4,100 pound rated tires, I had to go all the way down to 40 PSI in the rear to have a decent contact patch. So this is all gonna roll into how the ride of the truck runs. So if you see the tire right here, you can tell that there's no wear there, just driving across the gravel. So that part's not even touching the ground. If you look at the front, these are running at 50, and they pretty much touch all the way. Pretty happy with how those are running, but the rear, that's at 40 PSI. Very, very little tire bulge at 40. So tire pressure first, lower his tires down. So the next thing we're going to do is actually get into adjustments and how to go about that. So finding an absolute level spot to go park your truck. This one's not level, but I already did my adjustments, so I will walk you through that. So finding a level spot, what you're gonna do, get inside your truck, you're gonna key it on or running in the run position. And you're gonna go to vehicle settings, and then you are gonna push the bed lowering. So let's go back to that. So normally you're gonna be at normal ride height. You're gonna come over here, you're gonna push bed lowering. The light's gonna be illuminated. The screen's going to flash that light. Maybe that's not focused, but it'll flash lowering. That is going to drop all the air out of the airbags. So that is where that's gonna sit. And you can go back and check just by pushing on your airbag. Just push on it and it'll have no air pressure in it. So what you're gonna do there at that point is you need to tape measure from the ground to the wheel well, verify both sides of the truck are even. I recommend doing this with about half a tank of fuel. And you're going to come in here and check your voltage output. Now each one of these is going to be different. Got a sensor on each side. This is your height sensor. You can probe the back of the wire in the sensor. This one is the green with yellow stripe, and it'll be on the same as the other side, but the connector's flipped upside down on the other side. So I believe it's the bottom wire on that side, driver's side, top wire, with the green and yellow. So we are reading the voltage output from that sensor. It's a 0 to 5 volt sensor. If I push up on the truck, that voltage is going to change a little bit. So what we want to do is, what I found and a lot of other people have found, is the sensors are not adjusted equally to each other from the factory. Meaning, normally the driver's side has too much pressure, or more pressure than the left side. What I found on my truck originally was the left side had pressure, the right side had no pressure, just in regular driving around. So we loosened these 2 bolts, and within the slack of those bolt holes, turned one sensor up, one sensor down, to where we came to a even voltage on both sides. Now your voltage may be the same as this, maybe lower, maybe higher, but you want to equalize each sensor to each other, and verifying that the ride height, or at least to your wheel well, is the same or very close on each side. So going from there, so doing that, calibrating sensors, we got tire pressure checked. Now, what I ran into on my truck, and this may help a lot of other people, is when I pushed the bed lowering mode, when I pushed that button, the height of the truck, let's see, I need to turn the engine on. All right, let's hop in here. So this is normally why you would do it with it running, is sometimes the air suspension won't work. It doesn't want to drain the battery down. So you see it raising up. So the next thing you're going to do is go to normal ride height, take a measurement of your wheel well to the ground, take that measurement, and then lower down the truck with the bed lowering and take the measurement again. Now, originally on mine, there was only like 1/8 of an inch or so of ride height between standard height and bed lowering, which means that it wasn't on the airbag at all. So my main ride quality issue was with okay, there's our voltage with it at standard ride height. So my main issue was when I would go through a dip, it felt like the rear of the truck was hitting bump stops. It had just a really uneasy, weird feeling in it that felt like the rear shock was not enough rear shock. And it ended up being an issue with the airbags not having any air in them. So why would Ram put a bed lowering mode to take the air out of the airbags if it doesn't actually do anything? So I thought about that. I was like, okay, well, this truck should actually be up on the airbag already. So a lot of guys are looking at these trucks with air ride, and they don't have as much rake as, or almost no rake as, the trucks without airbags on them. So after my lift, 3.5 in the front, 2 in the rear was actually almost a 1/2 inch lower than the front. So looking at all these things combined, I decided to get the lift links, which are these rods here. I bought them from Thurin, meant to lift the rear of the truck 1 inch. And they mainly use them on the 2500 trucks that don't have a leaf spring, they just have airbag only. So I bought those, installed them, they're like 40 bucks or whatever. And it lifted the truck up quite a bit, too tall, was quite a bit of air in the airbag, too stiff. So looking for a happy medium, I was shooting for it to have about 1 inch of bed lowering. So these are just threaded rod end to end. So I unscrewed one of the ends. I cut about 1/2 inch off their longer air link. So when I did that, that fixed the, yeah, I'm doing a video. So when I did that, I put it all back together with the lift links that are now giving me about 1 inch of total airbag support, and that fixed all of the ride quality issues. And so it's riding on 1 inch of air now. That is a lot smoother. It doesn't have that sinking feeling or bottoming out feeling. It just kind of fixed everything all around. So maybe your truck has the same problem, maybe it doesn't. But I went around in circles for a little while trying to get any information, and everybody wants to sell you a whole rear leaf spring pack for thousands of dollars. And then they say, oh, well, you have to buy all our shocks. So now you're in it, you know, $5,000 for what I found was $40 and a little bit of time fixing that problem. So on voltage, that's going to be different per what your static payload is. Bed cover, rear tire, if you have toolboxes inside of it or not. All that is going to determine where that voltage is setting. You just want them even. You want your tire pressure set accordingly. And you want the bed lowering button to lower that bed at the axle about 1 inch. So try that out. Let me know what you find. Sorry for the long video, but there is nothing out there. I hope this helps somebody, and we will talk to you on the next one.